Begin Self-Publishing episode number 27, Finding Professionals Using Reedsy, with Emmanuel Nataf.
Interested in self-publishing but don't know where to start? Want to get your book onto Amazon? Want to hold your paperback book in your hands? Learn how on the Begin Self-Publishing podcast with your host, Tim Lewis.
So on today's show, I've got Emmanuel Nataf, who is the CEO and co-founder of a company called Reedsy. I believe you just recently won an award for Best Startup Company or something similar from Bookseller.
Hello, Tim. Yes, we did actually on Friday. We're really happy about it. So we were competing for the BookTech Awards with the FutureBook Awards, and we won it. So that was really cool.
So I suppose the first question people will be asking, what exactly is Reedsy and why did you decide to start it?
Yeah. So Reedsy is a community of top publishing professionals that allows authors and publishers to work with top editors, designers, and marketers for their books. So we're an online curated marketplace for the publishing industry. The reason why I decided to start Reedsy, so it comes back, a couple of years ago, basically, or actually more, when I first got a Kindle and I started, reading more and more on a tablet. I wasn't that much of a reader before that, and suddenly I started to read tons of books. I was traveling around a little bit, so I actually moved to Canada, and I was like, okay, I can bring all my books there, just like so simple, it's so cool. And I just started to learn a little bit more about the publishing industry and realized that from 2012 or also self-publishing was starting to boom. So I was like, that's really interesting. There's hundreds of thousands of authors who are self-publishing every year. It's becoming a massive market. That's really interesting. And at the same time, still learning about the publishing space, I read that many top publishing professionals had left publishing houses and had started to work as freelancers. So there were two trends basically on the market, and I thought we could kind of combine them to allow authors to work with top publishing professionals, which used to be the privilege of working with the traditional publishers.
I mean, what I understand is that even some of the traditional publishers have started to use professionals in your services now because the quality of people you got is so good.
Exactly. So it's fairly recent for us. For almost our entire first year, we worked with self-publishing authors. And then at some point, many publishers, London-based and even US-based, came to us and told us, well, we love the level of quality you can provide. It turns out that, it makes more sense for us to outsource production, editorial or design services. So we'd love to use Reedsy. And how can we use Reedsy? So most publishers who are using us at the moment are still signed up as authors. However, building on this, we've designed a product for publishers that we will release early next year. So the idea is to allow publishers to use our marketplace, but in a more collaborative way. So they'll be able to invite their teams, the entire departments if they want to, and then see shared collaborations with our professionals and even create internal projects. So they'll be able to use Reedsy as a project management tool, basically.
Okay. So my understanding is it's editing services, book design. Does that include cover design?
Yeah. So there's 4 different types of design services we offer at the moment. So there is cover design, interior design, if you're looking to do a physical book, typography, and illustrations. And in terms of editing, we offer, I think, 5 different types of services. So there's content editing, copy editing, proofreading, editorial assessments, and query letter reviews if you'd like to submit to an agent or to a publisher. And all those services are defined in the FAQ section of our website. So you can get a clear definition of what copy editing, content editing means, because it can get slightly confusing at the very beginning.
Yeah, and different countries have different definitions of what.
Definitely. So we've tried to summarize what it meant. So and our professionals are following those guidelines. So it's super clear when you send a request to them on Reedsy.
How do you control the quality of the professionals you allow to advertise on the marketplace on Reedsy?
Yeah. So the curation of our marketplace is what makes Reedsy really unique. So we've been able to create an amazing community of professionals, probably one of the best in the world. And the way we're doing it is we receive tons of applications every week, hundreds actually, and we handpick a few people to be listed on our marketplace. The way we do it is we ask anyone who signs up to Reedsy as a freelancer to list their work experience, their portfolio, the different genres they work on, to write an overview about themselves, to tell us which services they'd like to provide, and then we go through those profiles. So we see precisely which books they've worked on. It's linked to Amazon, so you can just click and see how the book is doing on Amazon, and we can also control that they've actually edited the book, because not all the time, but they're often mentioned. So we control all these things, and we also verify the online identity of our professionals. So basically they link their profiles to their Twitter account or their LinkedIn profile, and then we can kind of verify their online identity the way Airbnb, for instance, does it as well. And basically what we're trying to do is offer a level of quality that matches that of traditional publishers and big five publishers. So at this point, I guess probably 95% of the professionals who are listed on Reedsy have a big five background, or at least have worked on best-selling titles.
How much do you charge if somebody uses Reedsy to find a professional?
Yeah, so Reedsy's business model consists of a 10% cut on each side of the transaction. So for instance, if you want to work with a freelance editor, for instance, then you quote for $1,000, you will pay as an author $1,100. So it's fairly straightforward. The idea behind it is that we can provide customer support. So if there's any issue, there's always a help button in our interface, and you can just click on it and you can talk to someone on the team, and we can help you. And also we offer 100% satisfaction guarantee. So if there's any issue, we help you with your collaboration, and if necessary, we can issue a refund.
Okay. So it comes on to my next question, which is what somebody do if they're unhappy. I mean, so it's a case of you're like a middleman, really, aren't you?
Yeah, so we've had hundreds of collaborations already on Reedsy. We're starting to get, very high volume of, transactions, basically. And we've had very few issues. I think we've had one issue with an author who was just expecting too much for the budget he had. So we thought, okay, this is not working. We're just going to issue a refund. And that was it. But it's one issue out of hundreds. So the number of issues we're getting is very, very low.
Okay.
And this all comes from the creation, the quality of the professionals we have on Reedsy. They know what they're supposed to be doing, the top professionals, so you very rarely have issues with them. And most of the time, the issue is more going to come from the author side or the publisher side than our professionals.
Okay. Where do you see Reedsy going? What new features and stuff are you working on? Are you going to expand beyond editing and those kind of functions?
Yeah, definitely. So it's something we announced on Friday. I can send you a link afterwards. Maybe you can share it with your listeners. But basically, we're going to be releasing early 2016 our Reedsy book editor. So it's going to be a really great tool for authors and publishers to create in just a few clicks high-quality ebooks and PDFs if they'd like to distribute their books in a physical way. It's going to combine the user experience of Medium, so the blogging platform that's very famous for the interface and how easy it is to write a blog post and collaborate with other people, with some of the collaborative features you're going to find on Google Docs, and everything built for a book. So you can forget about the hassle of converting your Word document into an EPUB file or PDF. We're just going to do it to help you do it in just a few clicks. You'll be able to select a template, properly typeset, and then just add your ISBN, who the publisher is, what the trim is, and then just click download and you have it.
Okay, well, that sounds really interesting.
So that's the first thing we're going to be releasing. On top of it, we're going to be adding more services to our marketplace. So currently, when you sign up to Reedsy, you can use our editing, design, and publicity services. Marketers will be available in January. So we've selected some really top marketers to work on your book and to help you with your marketing strategy, email marketing, advertising, etc.
Okay.
And more will come. More will come soon. So there's going to be ghostwriting, translation as well as part of the marketplace. So really the idea is to change the way books are produced, allowing anyone to work with top professionals to do so.
Okay, so in terms of like this editor you're introducing, how much would it cost an author to use that? Is it going to be a free service, or are you going to be charging people a fee every month for using it?
It's going to be completely free. We may be adding an extra layer for people who'd like a custom template, but other than that, it's going to be completely free. High quality conversion formatting, for free.
I expect you're hoping to make money by people then using the editorial and marketing services on the back of that, I would guess.
Exactly.
Okay, well that is actually very interesting news, because I think there is a bit of a gap in the market for that sort of product.
Definitely, there's a few players, but we believe the quality is really disappointing, and we don't think you should be paying for that in 2015 or 2016.
No, yeah.
So yeah.
No, I'd agree with you on that. So, what would you say is the biggest issue apart from that you see in the marketplace with self-publishing, or is that probably is the main problem at the moment? But beyond that,
you mean in terms of services and how
yes, yeah,
how self-publishing authors are proud working with an editor or designer?
Yes, yeah.
It's interesting. Reedsy has been open to self-publishing authors for just a year, and we're already seeing changes in the way that we feel like self-publishing authors are realizing, they actually have to hire a professional editor or professional designer to produce a high-quality book that sells. So I think it's changing very quickly, and there's many people helping it in some ways. Many bloggers, author associations like the Alliance of Independent Authors. They all contribute to basically educating authors around how much money they should be spending to self-publish their book, basically. However, there's still things that they don't know, and what we've tried to do with our blog basically is to kind of inform them as much as possible. And what we're going to be doing next year, as soon as we have a high volume of transaction and the data is valuable, then we're going to open source our data and say, okay, for copy editing you should expect to pay this amount, for content editing that amount, etc. To basically bring more transparency to this industry that's not transparent at all, where you have everything in terms of pricing, basically. You're going to find services where for your 80,000 word book, they're going to charge you $15,000, and which makes no sense. We really want to bring transparency to this industry so self-publishing authors know what to expect when they come to Reedsy, basically. Yeah,
I mean, there are quite a few companies that do rip off self-published authors in terms of assisted in quotes publishing.
And then they still get a lot of customers, so that's a rip-off for many authors. So we'd like that to be over, basically.
Yeah, so I think the movement towards transparency by companies like Reedsy is a good idea in general for the industry, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so in terms of finding out about you and Reedsy and the company, where should people go?
Well, Reedsy.com, so REEDSY.com. So there's many things you can look at. So, you can try the product out. So you just have to enter your email address, and then you confirm your email, and then you get access to Reedsy, and you can start browsing the marketplace, reading the FAQ, and learn more about how things work. You can also look at our blog. So we post content pretty often, about once a week, I think, and we've talked a lot about editing services, design services. We've talked to other author services companies, crowdfunding companies. So we've done a lot of interviews also with best-selling authors. So there's a lot you can learn there. And potentially the last thing you can do to learn about Reedsy is there's a press section on our homepage. So you can just click on it and look at a few articles that have been published about Reedsy to learn more about our story, basically.
And when's this new SuperDuper editor that you're promising everybody going to be coming out?
It's super exciting for me because every day when I come into the office, I see my designer and my developers actually exporting files from our editor that already works. So we already have a version of it that works very, very well. So it's gonna come sometime in January, and we'll try to do some PR around it. So you'll hear about it.
Okay. Well, maybe let me know, and maybe I'll have you back on the show and you can talk about that. Yeah,
that'd be cool, actually. We could do a video interview maybe, so I could demo the different features of it. So the first version will have mainly writing and export features, and then the editing features will be progressively added. But it's already working. So on our end, we already have a few people who can write at the same time a book or collaborate at the same time, which is really exciting.
Okay, well, it was nice to talk to you today, Emmanuel. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
It was awesome. Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed today's show, please stop by iTunes and rate and leave a review. This helps make the show more visible. For free resources, show notes, and other helpful content, join the community at beginselfpublishing.com.